So the message for today is the gift of rest. Sabbath is a gift, and Jesus is the ultimate giver of rest. So if we go to Matthew 11, 28 to 30, let's read this together. Come to me, all you who labor. Let's read this together with all our hearts, okay? Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So how do you live above the changes, the chaos, and circumstances of life? Right? Jesus invites us to come and receive his rest. Rest is a gift. So let's look back at the context, okay? So let's go to Matthew 11. Just before Jesus gave this invitation of rest, there was that determined and unreasonable rejection of Jesus by the Jews. Now these were the learned teachers, religious leaders, and teachers in the Jewish community. So that's in verse 16 and 18, Jesus was rejected. And then in verses 20 and 24, it's about the impertinence, the rudeness of the people in the city. Even after Jesus have performed all these miracles, they were still questioning Jesus. And so in the midst of this rejection, Jesus is saying, come to me and receive this rest, this gift of rest. So this echoes Matthew 23:4, for they bind heavy burdens hard to bear and lay down on men's shoulder, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. The burden was laid by these religious leaders and teachers, where following God became an ethical do's and don'ts. And Jesus is coming to say, take it easy, lighten that burden, and just receive my rest. It's a gift. It's not just a dues, ethical demands of that time. So Jesus came to lighten that load. And this also applies not to those burdened by the ethical laws of that time, but those who are weary and burdened by life circumstances. So we're going to talk a little bit on that. So in verse 28 is the Sabbath invitation. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden. So Jesus' invitation is to all who labor and are heavy laden. Are you sick and tired? Worn out? Burn out on religion? And is it your habit to cast your anxieties to the Lord? Or do you keep them by yourself, and try to be your own savior? And Jesus gives us this invitation to come and rest in his presence. It's not about doing the right thing, what he wants us to do. It's not all just about the rule, but resting in his presence and just enjoying his presence. So learn the unforced rhythm of grace. I wouldn't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. No stress, right? No stress. Watch how I do it.